The PSP was one of the best handheld consoles ever made, and the fact that it's so easy to mod makes it an extremely attractive retro console. So this is a pre-modded PSP 2000, and I have a memory card adapter in here with a 128 gigabyte SD card. On that SD card is a massive library of PSP games. Remember, PSP games aren't really that large, so you can actually fit a lot on 128 gigabytes. And since everything's running off the memory card, which is over here, you don't have to give up your UMD drive, so all your physical games are still cool to play on this thing. Let's also not forget that the PSP had amazing compatibility with PS1 games, and you can load this thing up with emulators and really use it as an awesome retro console. It's no wonder that the PSP is still pretty freaking popular even to this day. I think I like it more than my PS Vita. While the PS Vita is a more powerful console, I just don't find this very comfortable to hold. All the buttons and the joysticks are really small, whereas everything feels just much nicer and more natural on a PSP, but that's just me. If you have a PSP lying around, I highly recommend you mod it. If you're interested in modding a PSP, you can check out my link tree. I have a whole bunch of links on where to go to get the supplies you need. You really only need the memory card adapter, an SD card, and possibly a data cable if you don't have it already. Now, you can also go on AliExpress and buy a pre-modded PSP for a pretty good price. The reviews looked pretty good. I will say anything AliExpress is buyer beware, but you want to take the gamble. It's a good savings. Go for it. And to address the just emulated crowd, absolutely, I'm not actually against emulating at all. PPSSPP is a fantastic emulator. You can upscale PSP games up to 4K, which is amazing. But there's a certain charm to the handheld PSP that is lost when you're just emulating it to a big screen. Also, just want to address these handheld emulator devices that you see all over TikTok Shop and other places on the internet. A lot of them claim to be able to emulate PSP games, but unless you're buying one of the more expensive, beefier ones that are a bit more powerful, a lot of the budget options like these back here are actually going to struggle with PSP games. I tend to see 20 to 30 frames per second when I'm trying to play PSP on there, and that's a noticeable slowdown. So don't go out and get a budget one of these devices thinking that you're going to get great PSP emulation. You're probably not.